University of Chicago paleontologist Neil Shubin has been all over the world searching for clues that will reveal more about our life on Earth and the cosmos. One of those excursions in 2004 to the Canadian Arctic led to a huge discovery, a fish with legs known as Tiktaalik. There are even more secrets locked in the rocks and ice all over the world.
Neil's latest book is about epic adventure to the North and South Poles. It's called Ends of the Earth, Journeys to the Polar Regions in Search of Life, the Cosmos, and Our Future. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
So that's got to be like the holy grail. You're a paleontologist and you make a discovery no one knew existed. You found the fish with legs?
It was an amazing moment, but that moment was built on 6 years of work. So we failed for 6 years before finding the thing, but it was incredible.
So you knew you were going to find it there?
We had a hunch, and we took it back. There was no guarantee we were going to be right, which made it all the more exciting, if you will.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what did that show?
What it showed is a fish that's 375 million years old, that if I was to hold it in front of you was about 4 feet long, had scales like a fish, fins like a fish, but when you open up the fin, it had arm bones compared to our upper arm, forearm, even parts of our wrist, inside a fish.
Wow.
It had lungs and gills. It had ear bones.
Did you find anything that you weren't looking for necessarily? What is this thing?
Yeah, well, I found a lot of weight loss because I was working really hard up there, and because it's really cold. But we found all kinds of fish up there that don't exist today. There's a whole world of fish that's it's lost. It's been lost for hundreds of millions of years. And that's one of the exciting things about being a paleontologist.
Larry asked you this before we went on the air. Are you a paleontologist that specifies in going under the ice, and not many people want to do that?
Yeah, the whole trick is go where they ain't, right? That's how you make new discoveries. Try to think of things in a different way. And I think the breakthrough for us was seeing that the polar regions are sources and places of discovery.
So does this tell you that by finding all these weird fish and looking at their evolution, that may somehow give us some insight into what else is in the cosmos, or how we might evolve in the future to adapt to maybe going to live somewhere else in the galaxy?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many lessons that we learn, not only from the kinds of fossils we find about the possibilities of life, but also just in working in polar regions, we have to adapt as human beings, as species. And a lot of those things are necessary if we're thinking about traveling to other planets. Working at the poles is a good clue to that.
We're looking at a lot of wallpaper kind of video here, but let's pull up some specific pictures. First, we have an Antarctic crevasse with a human in the picture to give it scale. Holy.
Oh, yeah. That's, you kind of watch out for those kinds of things. And oftentimes, you're seeing that in cross-section, but a lot of times they're invisible. And it's a scary thing that can collapse, so you can fall into those things.
What the heck?
Did you bring alcohol on this trip? No fun. Just
and what
all
is
work.
this we're looking at? A
muskox. That's a creature that's about 8 feet long, but oftentimes what we'll see them is completely buried. That's a carcass. But that carcass, look at it. It's green. There's flowers around it. It's like an oasis of life. So what you have in a barren world is a body, a carcass of a decaying muskox becomes a garden.
Wow.
Because of all the nutrients that are released.
Huh. Is that? Oh, what is this here?
These are fossil plants found right near the South Pole. Isn't that incredible?
Plants. Is the ox the most ancient mammal that you found, or you find something older than that?
You find lots of older stuff, yeah. That's just one of many kinds of mammals out there. Some of them are very ancient, but some are very recent as well.
What are your thoughts about bringing some of these back through cloning? It's been in the news quite a bit. It's a good idea.
Oh yeah, the woolly mammoth.
It's exciting times, I gotta say. Can we do it? Yes, I'm pretty sure the people are going to do it. Should we do it? I think we need to have those ethical discussions, because we're bringing creatures back that have disappeared for millions of years. They're not going to know, they're not familiar with these ecosystems. So we have to ask the question, will they disrupt these ecosystems? Will they be part of that ecosystem?
Yeah.
We as a society need to have those conversations.
Are those kind of conversations being had amongst people like yourselves? Do they ask your advice on things like this?
They do, yeah. They are out there. There are conferences where people talk about the ethics of doing these kinds of things. But the question is, do they percolate to the general public?
Right.
And the answer is no. I think you have to do a better job of that.
So when we talk about Jurassic Park for a woolly mammoth, bringing it back, is that how far away are we from, do you think, that actually happening?
I think we're years, not decades.
Wow.
Is there a mystery that you didn't get to solve on these trips that you still have to go to another trip to try and solve?
Oh, that's the beauty of science. There's always mysteries, right?
Yeah.
There's always questions. And one of the biggest ones for me is, how did creatures with bodies, with many cells, come about in the first place? All life for billions of years was a single cell. But at some point, there were bodies that appeared. So how did that happen? When did that happen? Why did that happen? You know, that's a mystery, and I'm here to solve it, so hopefully we can talk about it next time.
Well, the book is Ends of the Earth, Journeys to the Polar Regions in Search of Life, the Cosmos, and Our Future. You can see Neil February 8th at Seminary Co-op bookstores, and for more, you can follow him on social media. Thanks, Neil. Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks, great to be here.
Robin, why don't you do a documentary? The next time he goes, you could go with him.
Oh, I'd be such a big help.
Hey,
Just call me.
Point your camera into the